Hi everyone, today is March 15th, 2011 here at Ocala Sales. We're about an hour away from the start of the March sale, and today I wanted to just make mention and to make note of the differences in the buying process and the vets and how they come into play with the different sales. Here at Ocala they have a bone warranty as part of the conditions of sale, and all that means is we can buy horses without doing x-rays on them. After we buy them, we can x-ray them and evaluate them, and if we see a major problem, we can turn them back. At the other sales, i.e. like a Phasic Tipton, the one that we just came from in South Florida, they have a repository. And the definition of a repository is really simply a collection point where all the horses, you take x-rays and you put them in that repository. So at a sale like that, we're able to send our veterinarians beforehand to check those x-rays. So it's a little bit of a different wrinkle. It's probably a little cheaper here at Ocala because we don't have to send our veterinarian to evaluate a bunch of horses beforehand. All we have to do is worry about the horses that we buy and then do the x-rays and have our vets evaluate those x-rays after the fact. So instead of evaluating 25 sets of x-rays right before the sale, at other sales, here at Ocala we'll merely have to do x-rays on 4 or 5 horses that we actually buy. So again, it's a little bit of a different wrinkle, but the important thing is to know the conditions of sale at the venue that you're at and apply those conditions of sale, because I know in the past there have been some buyers that have really gotten into a jackpot by not knowing the difference and being at one sale where you didn't have the safety of the conditions of sale to back you up.
What about scoping?
We scope beforehand for at every sale. It's really important, and it's you want to know that you have a good throat with a horse. So we'll, like at this sale, over the last 36 hours, we scoped about 25 horses. We'll probably end up with 4 or 5 horses. So we've scoped 25 horses, and we'll x-ray after the fact all the ones that we buy, which, as I say, we're projecting right now to be about 4 or 5 horses.
So what's the number one thing that you looked for in the horses you looked at here?
The number one thing is just athleticism. We see year after year, we see horses that quote unquote didn't vet at the sales. And one of the things we found that you have to take into account is how they move on the racetrack and how they're conformed. Yeah, you might not have a perfect set of x-rays, but you have a very well conformed and athletic horse that's going to work his way through. And look, I mean, these are professional athletes, and they're going to have problems, they're going to have issues, and you got to work through it, and you got to have the foresight and the experience and the institutional knowledge to look forward and to evaluate that horse as he's a 3 or 4-year-old, as opposed to a set of x-rays as a 2-year-old. So it really is it's an art and a science, and you put all those together and you try to come up with real good prospects here at the 2-year-old training sales.